ready to get rolling.
Sure, let's get rolling. All right, well, welcome everybody, and thanks for joining us for this UNC Bears women's basketball virtual meeting. It's not the way we want to be doing these, but this gives us an opportunity to talk to Coach Huth and find out about the upcoming season, some great things that are happening. Before we get going, I just want to say welcome to all of our supporters out there, our Fast Break supporters, coaches. I see some coaches on there, some alumni, Bears fans, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We got some old players, some current players. So it's just fun to see everybody get together. We're going to go through a question and answer session. I got some questions that I'll talk to Coach Huth about, and we'll go through those. And then we'll have an opportunity for you to ask questions as well. We'll do that in one of two ways. If you look at the bottom on the participants, there should be an area there where you can raise your hand. So when we get to that point where we're opening it up for questions, we'll let you raise your hand. Or you can just go into the chat window at any time and make sure it says to everyone, and then enter your question in there. And when we get to those questions at the end, I'll read them out and we'll give Coach Huth a chance to answer those. So as we get going, if you come up with a question, jot it down, chat it in the window, and we'll make sure that we get to it. Like I said, a lot of fun here. My name is Aaron Rath, for those that have seen me but don't know me. I'm the Knocks It Down for the Bears guy. I love being on the air, calling these games with these ladies. A lot of fun to watch. People ask me all the time, and my kids tell me all the time, Dad, do you like doing women's basketball? And I say, I love doing women's basketball. Women are more skilled at the game than men. Men can dunk. It doesn't take any skill to dunk. It just takes jumping. But when you look at the jump shot that Michaela has, that the game that Savvy played when she played, that's just plain skill, and that's why I love doing it. So we'll be back out there again this year, calling those games on Pluto TV and 1310 KFKA when we can. And every chance I get, I'm going to yell, Knocks It Down for the Bears. So let's go ahead and get going today. As we get into this, I'd like to introduce our head coach for the upcoming season again, coming into her third season. Hard to believe, Coach Huth, you're coming into your third season as our 13th head coach of women's basketball here at UNC. Before this, 7 seasons at UCLA. I jotted down that you were a stellar player back at CU, and I'm not going to mention the years that you played at CU. If you want to do that, you can do that. 3-time all-conference player as a player, and I could go on and on about the accolades that you collected as a player, Coach. But I am excited that you're our coach. It's fun to see you on the sidelines. As I've called games at the high school level and different colleges, coaches always have that one thing that they do that you like to pick on, and yours is that little heel stomp. You got that little heel stomp. You get right in front of the booth there and get that heel stomp going, and that microphone picks it up. And I just love that, and it's a lot of fun. So I want to say welcome to all of our guests. I know we still have some guests joining, but with that, Coach Huth, I'm going to turn it over to you to do some intro and go from there.
Great. Thanks, Aaron. You're supposed to pass it to me because we're on Zoom, so I'm ready for the pass. My hands are ready.
I don't have a basketball.
All right, toss it. Just okay. I got it right in my shooting pocket. All right, y'all. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and we hope this is going to be fun and interactive. I want to first introduce my staff on board and even a player here that's with us. First of all, our newest addition to the Bear program is Associate Head Coach Sean LaBeouf. He's on here. He can wave. Actually, you could just say hi so everyone can see you, Sean.
How's everybody doing?
Great.
I appreciate everybody being on the call.
So Sean came to us from Prairie View A&M. Before that, he was at Arizona, and that's actually where I met Sean. We're thankful to have him on board. He's going to be our offensive coordinator this year, and he's a great recruiter. He's already hit the ground running. He's at UNC even in the middle of COVID, so you'll be seeing him patrolling me and making sure I'm composed on the sideline, I'm sure. And then Jana Pearson here as well. She's entering her third season with me, and she handles our post development. So she's got a big role in our recruiting coordinator. So she's going to say hello too.
Hey guys, nice to be here. Thanks for joining us.
And then alumna alumni. Savannah Smith is now our official graduate assistant. She's been helping us a lot with graphics and social media, as well as connecting us back to our alumni. I'm so grateful to be able to have a connection so easily and readily. And we're grateful to have her and her knowledge along with us as well. I want to say hi, Sav.
Hello, everyone. Super excited about this. It's going to be fun.
And then lastly, Michaela Eisenbart, she's going into her junior year. She's going to be on the call, and you'll hear from her a little bit later, but go ahead and say hello as well, Michaela.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Awesome. And then I would love to introduce, we have our Hall of Famer alumni, Deshara. Welcome. Thanks for being on the call.
Yes, hi. Thanks for having me. This is awesome, guys. I'm excited to listen in and to learn what's happening at UNC. And Denise, I see you. Hello. It's been a minute. Hi. I'm so glad to see you.
Well, Danielle Betancourt, thank you for joining us as well. And then we have got Meenan on here, all kinds of alumni. I think Jerry's on here. He should be on here as well. So some of our great supporters are on here as well. So we're excited about having you. And we're going to kind of recap the season. Last year, if you don't know, we were young. We had 5 freshmen and really ended on a strong note in the Big Sky tournament. Super excited about just how we finished against Montana State, the #1 team in the league. We were the 8 seed going in and just went toe to toe with them, and just our team left it on the floor. So I felt like, you know, the program's going in the right direction when you end like that. You want to play your best basketball in March. So that was exciting. We have added some new players, quite a few, in the off season in COVID. We already had 4 freshmen coming in. So we had freshmen, two from Colorado, and then we got a walk-on from Hawaii as well. And then also added a transfer from Kansas State. We got her through her waiver process, so she's going to be ready to go right away. Her name is Elisa Wiggins. Her waiver passed, and she's going to be a junior for us. She just wanted to get an opportunity to play more, so she's going to be ready to go. Also ready to go will be Reka Suz. She's from Hungary by way of Casper Community College. She's a forward for us, really versatile, kind of complements Kirsten and Alicia for us, and also with graduation of Bridget, Allie, and Abby. It's nice to have some depth inside. And then we also have Jaden Galloway. She transferred in from Metro State. She wanted to level up, and she's ready to come in and really help us in practice and really level us up there. So she'll redshirt this year. But those are our newcomers. So you're going to see a lot of new faces in addition to our returners. Over the summer, you're going to hear what Michaela has to say about what we've been doing. Probably too many Zoom calls, maybe. I'm giving them a week off next week, so that should be good. Projection ahead, you know, I think Idaho and Montana State are always kind of towards the top. NAU didn't graduate anyone, and they had a strong finish last year. And then don't sleep on the Bears. We're going to be ready to make some noise and be really, really excited to play fast, up-tempo, play some great defense. Yeah, we're going to make some modifications so we can score more points, but we'll have to not turn the ball over. That's our goal this year, right, Nick? So that's kind of where we're headed, just to give you guys an overview. I wanted to also talk about Michaela. So she's going to get on here and tell you about what we've been doing during this COVID, so you can hear from someone other than me and just some of the things we've done. We did come to campus and then decided it was in everyone's best interest to send everyone back home. We had an outbreak and we just weren't in a great spot, and so we sent everyone back home, and then they will be returning right before school starts, and we're going to start from that place and probably hit the ground running pretty hard. So Michaela, why don't you share with this group of people what we've been doing and yeah, connect them to you.
All right. So first of all, I just want to thank you guys all for coming, and especially in COVID, it is definitely a time where we need each other more than ever as we walk through these uncertain times. But as Coach Jenny said, we did get to campus for a bit, but it was really all over the place and just uncertain. So we've really been building off the court and building as whole people. And so our 2 major skills we learned through quarantine have been adaptability and building authentic and intentional connections. So with this COVID being all over the place, we got a set schedule with Zoom and we had to change and grow. So what we did was we meet twice a week, so Tuesdays, and we do a sisterhood series. We started this at the beginning of the summer when we kind of embodied this idea that we wanted our culture to really be a staple of that, a staple of sisterhood and that relationship and what that looks like. So we really dove into that. And once a week we hear from any great in our team that our coach can get connections to. We talked to Carly and Katie Lou Samuelson, two sisters that now played in overseas and in the WNBA. We talked to Angel Gray, who was a reporter for the Cavs. Ruth Riley was a champion at about every level in our game. And that's just to name a few, but we keep that going. I think we're going to speak to 8 throughout the whole summer. And then our other piece to that sisterhood series, we've called it, is we meet once a week in groups of 3 with, because we have 15 of us, so groups of 3, and talk about our stories, where we came from, just kind of building into that authentic relationship and building that with everyone. And then in step with our sisterhood series, we've done book studies. So the newcomers, as Coach Jenny mentioned, there's 7 of them. They read the book Chop Wood, Carry Water, and us returners read a book called Hard Hat by John Gordon. And at the end of each study, each half presented their book to the group in some creative way. Jana loves creativity. So we, the newcomers made a PowerPoint and each spoke into what lesson they picked up from the book. And Alexis showed off her video skills, and us returners made like I don't even know what kind of video you'd call it, but put together actions. What'd you call it? I don't know what she's saying, but made a video to kind of explain the teammate. His whole idea is what it looks like to be a great teammate. So we emphasized how we wanted that to look for our team in that video. And then to kind of propel forward through that, we narrowed down 2 commitments we wanted to pick up from that book. And one was show that you care, and 2 was become a come with me teammate. And then throughout these past 3 weeks, we kind of dissected each of those and broke down what that looks like for our team and for us individually. And then how we're going to hold each other accountable was our last assignment, kind of how we're going to help each other walk in that and help each other develop as a whole person, which I think COVID has really definitely opened my eyes, but I think also our team is just this new avenue for growth and how we can develop so much off the court in this time that we can't be together and grow together. So yeah, that's our COVID update for quarantine.
Does anybody have any questions for Mick? I know it's fun to hear from student athletes, so feel free to ask any questions you have for her.
Well, I have some questions for her. Hey, Michaela, we saw some great pictures and some videos that Alexis Chapman got to spend some time on the farm with you. How was that? Was that different for her? Seemed like it was a little out of her comfort zone. Did that help you guys grow closer together? I know you have to get stories.
Sure. Yeah, there are so many stories. The first one I remember was we had to save this sick calf. She loves to drive the 4-wheeler. That's her favorite thing to do. She doesn't really like to get dirty, but she likes to drive the 4-wheeler. So she'll do that, and we've had to carry some calves around, and she likes to watch. She doesn't really like to get in there and get her hands dirty, but she likes to learn. So it's been cool to experience that and then talk about how just the differences and how we were raised and where we come from. And that's always been cool to share, I think, as being an athlete, how you can kind of grow on learning other people's stories and where they all got to be where they are.
Right. And Michaela, coming into your 3rd year, you're going to be a junior. I know that's hard to believe. I'm having a hard time believing that you're already in your 3rd year. Now when I start talking about you on the air, you're that upper group and you've got all these junior people below you that you're guiding. How do you think your role changes as a junior versus a sophomore and a freshman coming into this next season?
I think for me, I've really been a relational person and just trying to build on that. So I think for me, it's still continuing that, but kind of being more of a vocal leader in that. I've always really been a keep to the side and hear what people are going through in their lives and not necessarily on the court, but like what they're going through as people. And I think now I kind of have to use that relationship to help push each other and to help our team grow. But for me, it's always been about serving. So you have to learn that relationship first. And so now that I've spent these first 2 years kind of doing that, I can kind of become more vocal in that, if that makes sense.
All right. It makes a lot of sense, actually. So one last question for you. I see every Wednesday we get the workout Wednesday. We got Savvy out there dribbling and clapping today. We had one with Savannah Scott. I've put my videos up there, but I haven't seen anybody else on the team doing these workout Wednesdays. How do I know that you're using those to get better?
Wow. Challenge accepted. We'll have to post some. That's all we're going to have to do.
Well,
Seven,
some of
great
that
job.
is about for promoting camp, and so
I
that
know.
the area behind it a little bit. So, and it's illegal for us to post their workouts at this point. So we have to make sure they complete it and then we can post it. So there are NCAA rules about it as well.
Yep.
Danielle and Deshara, do you have any advice for Michaela?
I think you are already off to a great start. My big thing was relationships. When I played, I was never a vocal leader. Like how I went about it was, lead by example. I made connections with my teammates. I took a lot of them out to lunch for coffee, and it was just building that one-on-one relationship. And I think that kind of helped me keep them accountable on the court. So I think you're doing a fabulous job, how you say serving and getting to know and building relationships with your teammates. My other thing I learned early on was to just kind of give myself away. And again, you're obviously doing that. But I just say, your smile, your laugh, your stories, high fives, just give yourself away. And then at the end of the day, you won't regret anything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Danielle. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. That was great to share. Following up after everything, but I guess advice I could give is just keep doing what you guys are doing. It sounds like you're working hard on the off season, even with all of this extra stuff surrounding everything and the COVID and not being able to be in person with each other. And I think it's great what you guys are doing to try to stay connected and keep together as a team. So just keep doing what you're doing and keep out after those workouts and, stay committed to everything.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for your advice, guys. Appreciate that.
I see Meenan has a
Good man.
question.
Yeah,
Meenan, you have a
let's go.
question for us for Michaela?
Absolutely. As a fellow Bear, but also a Kit Carson Wildcat from Eastern Colorado, have you reached out to Coach Trey Hearn? And if so, he was a mentor of mine, and I've shared stories with you, but have you talked to Jim and Sue?
Oh, yeah, we stay close. He actually retired, but he still lives in Carson. And yeah, we stay really close. He helped me get through my freshman year. So yeah, he's
That's
a great
good.
guy.
In Eastern Colorado, are you able to go out and still, stay 6 feet apart so you can hit those threes over him?
Yeah, we can do that.
Nice. Thanks.
Yeah, she has a court. She has a court on her farm. It's pretty awesome, her setup out there.
Yeah, it is. My dad has done a lot of work for us, but there's 6 kids and we all love basketball, so it's been cool. And quarantine's been special.
All right. Well, if anybody doesn't have any other questions, I know Zooms can be long, and I want to make sure I'm sensitive to that. But I'm going to pass it on to Sav, and she's going to talk to you guys about what we're doing with our legacy project with our alumni. And her and Jana really spent some time this off season developing a strategy to help connect our alumni in a personal way. And we're hoping that this gets some traction, but also just to pass on your wisdom to our young people that wore your number. So I'm going to let Sav talk about what they've done. And then I think Christina has a picture on the screen to show you what it looks like. So go ahead, Sav, take it away.
Thank you. So Coach Jenny kind of hit it on the ball with just our whole idea behind this legacy project is being able to connect past alumni with future incoming Bears, current Bears, and just kind of create that family feel all throughout past and present. And so our idea with this is to create sort of a book with letters from past women's basketball players based off of the jersey numbers. Christine, thank you for sharing this. So So this is an example. We took Dee DeShera was super nice to send us this example of an awesome letter that we will pass on to future number threes coming through the program. And really it's just something that can give them sort of guidance and a look into past cultures and what people have gone through and lessons that they've learned, just to help them kind of as they navigate their way through their experience being a bear. And that's our idea for this project, and hopefully it'll catch on and we'll get a whole bunch of letters and even have like a huge book in the future. And I think it'll be a really cool way to connect all the bears, past, present, future, all of the above. So that's it.
DeShera, thanks for letting us use your template as the first one. So the number threes are going to all get advice from DeShera if they wear that number. So I'm sure some people are going to be jealous. They want everybody to see everybody. So we may do that as well.
No, that was awesome. That was such a great idea. I love it. That was really good.
I think they're still collecting a few numbers so that everybody on the team gets hit and touched upon. So that's our hope. Is, like I said, it could go no matter what, coach to coach, but it's a book full of a legacy. So that's something we're excited about. And kind of on top of that, just for next year, we really want to continue to get alumni involved. So we're gonna put up a poll up here and just see ways in which we can get you guys involved. But like I said before, DeShera, congratulations on getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. Obviously, one of our best players. Your picture is still loud and proud up on the wall near our offices. So we talk about you often, even if you don't realize it. So it's kind of fun. And just your stature, being able to score as many points and rebound the ball the way that you did, it really is a selling point for UNC, and the fact that you were such a great player. I think Savvy's next into that Hall of Fame, probably right behind you. So 2 Hall of Famers here on the line, pretty awesome. And we're just really grateful for the legacy you guys have both left. And Danielle, you too. I know you were a scrapper out there, and you could hold your own. So thank you for also being on this call. Jenny, yeah, do you have anything for us? Or Christina, do you want to put that up yet? Okay. So here is a poll of ways that our alumni can get involved. So if you guys could fill this out, that would be great. Ways in which you would want to be involved.
Like any of them really have a low score. Looks like they're all great ideas, Coach.
Well, that's the idea, is to continue to figure out how to connect you guys. So is that everybody? Okay, so here's what it looks like. Looks like everybody wants to do a little bit of something, so that'll be great. We're gonna try to do a home game this year. I think 3 years ago you guys had an event where you all came to a game and were recognized and then went out afterwards. So we'll try to do that as well. All right, Jenny Shoup.
Thanks for joining. Jenny Shoup, I did, some of you might recognize me. I played golf here at UNC 2004, 2008. So Danielle and DeShera certainly recognize you. Great to see you. I'm currently, I do development work for the university with a primary focus of athletics. So I work closely with all of our head coaches, including Jenny Huth, on figuring out ways and priorities for our program, or for each program within the athletic department, and helping to find donors, alumni, and fans who want to support and really take women's basketball or that program to the next level. And as we all know, the sky is the limit in terms of fundraising potential for any sport and any activity these days. So I know Jenny has greatly appreciated, and the team has greatly benefited from all support that they have received in the past and will in the future. And she has done some really awesome things with the funds that she has received. And I know she's got some great things looking forward to. And I think with COVID happening and a lot of uncertainty, you know, support from donors, fans, alumni is more important than ever before. So I want to, you know, have some dialogue with Jenny about something she's done, and feel free to chime in, Michaela or Savannah, you know, on ways that you've really felt donors supporting your program and how that's really changed your student athlete experience and lives moving forward. So, and that club, I'm sorry, I don't know if I mentioned it, that club for the women's basketball team is called the Fast Break Club. And so that fund allows Coach Huth to, of course, with approval from her sports supervisor or athletic director, to really provide on top of support for the program. So that can be from, you know, recruiting to meals on the road to, I know they've done iPads, and I'll let Jenny talk about all that, but this is really program enhancing funds. And then a portion of it, 25% of it, goes to help support scholarships for women's basketball players. So I'll let Jenny share some things they've done and some things they hope to do in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, I think pictures always tell a big story. So I'm going to let Christina share a couple of pictures of just things that our donors have helped provide for our team to just enhance the experience here. These are just opportunities. I call it education in 3D. And what I mean by that is that you're learning things from a three-dimensional perspective. And I've always been around programs that have taught our players that it's more than just the classroom. In one way, with donor support, it's about team building and team bonding, obviously, but some of the things that we've done to build team chemistry. This was an example last year when we had 5 freshmen, we actually went paintballing. And it was an opportunity for us to kind of just bond in a competitive environment. So you see us in our paintball gear. That was really cool. And that obviously costs money outside of operational budget. Christmas party, obviously, getting everybody together. We do a gift exchange. We do team games. We invite all the staff, not just the players. So the people that are around our program that work really, really hard to on a day-to-day basis. It's just an opportunity to celebrate and get to know each other a little bit more outside of just the basketball court. So just that meal is always an important piece for us, especially when the kids are away from home. You know, we have over half the team away from home. So that's another opportunity. We went to Ruby Falls last year. We played Chattanooga, and this was a really education in 3D for us. Oh, actually, I'll go to Boise. So in Boise, we did we call it the hot seat. So we put all of our seniors on the hot seat, and for 20 minutes, we just affirmed the heck out of them, thanking them for their opportunity and everything they've done for our program. So last year we had Bridget, Allie, and Abby on the hot seat, and we just affirmed them and thanked them for, you know, the ways they've challenged us and encouraged us. And then the hats here for team building were, we wrote one word about that person that was positive. So it was an affirmation circle, and everybody wrote one word on the party hats. Thanks to Jana, she made party hats that year. So that's been a tradition that we've carried on now since I've been here. And then the last thing is, I think, all right, this was Ruby Falls. So we went to Chattanooga in the off season, and this is the education in 3D, just like learning about, you know, we went underground. We learned history about Ruby Falls. This was a waterfall that was literally like 300 feet below the surface. And then after that, we went to a restaurant for the Listons own a restaurant called the State of Confusion, and they provided us a meal there at the State of Confusion right here. There's Allie. And so we're just grateful for those opportunities outside of the court and in the classroom that our donors have provided. And it honestly is a recruiting advantage for us when we can create those experiences. I like to say that there's hopefully not a lot of other people in the Big Sky that are really that intentional about creating those experiences. So we definitely want to continue in that. You know, some immediate needs that we have, and I'm just going to share them because I do think that when you share it, you get to sometimes see the fruits of your labor because of it. some motivational speakers. We have a lady named Betsy Butternick. We want to bring her in to talk about conflict resolution. She's an expert in it. It would cost about $800 to do that. First Beat is about $1,000, and that's software for our heart rates, to figure out how to train and how to do things at a really efficient level. So we need some updates with that. Another really kind of non-sexy, I think, way of saying it is we do need a projector for on the road, and that's about $500, so that when we do film on the road, we have that. So those are kind of our immediate needs. Obviously, when we get a chance to give our kids an extra meal or a cool experience, if there's something that kind of pulls on your heartstrings, I definitely would welcome that in any way, shape, or form. And I know that the times are tough right now, so I understand that as well, and grateful for even just letting me share some of those needs that we have. The other thing we've had in the past is locker room enhancements, and we've used some SIG dollars for that as well. And we just got a brand new update in our locker room that looks excellent. So I hope to share that with you guys. iPads, we use iPads for every incoming class, and we use scouting software. So when we go to Montana, for instance, we play Thursday, and then we go again and play Saturday. And in order to get film study in, we use our iPads to get all the filming needs created there. And that's been really beneficial. And that's also come from donor dollars as well. So those are just some of our needs and some of the ways in which we use them as well.
Well, I got a question then for Sean, since you're the new guy, and I've been around Coach Huth and Coach Jana for 3 years and Savannah for quite a while. You coming from Texas and Arizona. What's your favorite thing that you're looking forward to about Colorado besides the snowy winter weather?
Well, I'm pretty much a homebody, so I don't need much to entertain me. It's usually just going to the office and going home. But now driving up here, I have seen the most pronounced rainbows I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen the most rainbows I've ever seen in my life. So that must mean it's a special place.
Coach, one of the things that I look at when I'm in my spot, and you'll see me, I'm right next to the bench in the arena, and I'll be doing the coach dance because Coach Jenny likes to stand right in front of the booth. And that's okay, Coach, because all coaches do it. We all do the coach dance. But, I see the way different coaches act on the bench. Are you a laid back, chill out coach, or are we going to hear you yelling across the arena?
I guess, well, actually, we had a conversation about that today on our Zoom call. What's something I need work on? One of my weaknesses, well, it's a strength and actually a weakness, is my impatience. And I guess I'm a Jekyll and Hyde. When I get inside the lines, I take on a different personality. I'm pretty laid back and actually pretty quiet. But once I get inside the lines, I take on a different personality, fairly intense. So I'm learning to control that a little better. So I'm sure you'll hear me.
There's nothing wrong with intensity.
Just not as many, just not as much, but you'll hear me.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with intensity. That's all good. I like hearing it and seeing it. Coach Jana, you're working with the post players. You give up 3 big post players from this last season. How excited are you to work with and improve the couple that you're bringing back, and then the ones that you have added in this offseason? We heard Coach Huth talk about some of those players that were added. How excited are you?
Oh, super excited. I mean, Alicia Davis, you guys saw her through the year just come on super strong for us. And, man, she's just hungry to learn too. She's just texted me yesterday, hey, Coach, are we allowed to watch film right now? I'm like, oh, yeah, let's go. So, like, we're watching film with her. She's hungry. I think you're going to see even a bigger impact. I mean, points per minute, that kid put up a lot last year. And so I think you're going to see even a bigger impact from her. And like Coach Jenny mentioned, Reika is going to bring a lot of versatility to that lineup. And I think some of the things we're looking at, we're going to be able to play even, Mick may end up inside a little bit and get to come down there and work some of the ropes drills with us, TBD. But yeah, I think we'll play some, more guardish type forwards there as well as we pick up our speed and those kind of things. So I'm definitely excited for them to build on what they did.
All right. I can't wait to see Michaela on the post, working a little inside outside basketball, posting up and then step into the corner to knock down a three. Coach Huth, we're all excited because you bring back so many great freshmen from last year that got an opportunity to play, and they're going to come into this next season with experience under their belts, and you added to them. You went after some transfers. You have a big roster this year. How excited are you to get them together and run up and down the court and see how they mix and meld together coming into a new season?
Yeah, thank you, Aaron. That's a great question. And some of my off time was a lot of reading and reflection and, digging back into some of the numbers and actually meeting with one of my mentors, Seal Berry, who's a Hall of Famer, was my head coach at Colorado. And we spent a lot of time just talking about consistency and how to continue to build the program from where it is and then moving it forward. So it's been good. I think the thing her and I and just in general have kind of gone back to is how competitive your practices get when you have a full roster, and how that just helps the whole culture. If the kids receive it right and do it right, then you don't have the scout team or those guys necessarily always going against you. You have your own team going against each other, and everybody gets better when that happens. And so I think it's going to be really competitive, and it needs to be. None of us want to finish where we finished last year. It needs to be more competitive, and it needs to be in a really healthy way also. But I always say the cream rises to the top. And so your best players and your ones that want it the most end up getting there. And then you have to have, acceptance of a role. And so with that, you have acceptance, but you also have preparedness. And so we're hoping that with that kind of team that you have kids that are prepared in case someone goes down. And, in that role changes, it can change year to year, but you also have that opportunity as well. But I anticipate heated practices, and I think heated practices lead to championship teams.
That's good. Coach, I know recruiting is not an easy thing to do on a normal year, to go out and find, from what I've seen on film and watching these freshmen that you brought in and then the transfers. That's hard to do on a normal year. How much more difficult was it to do in our current environment, and how are you able to see them play and go through that type of thing with this current environment?
Well, we already had seen Reka play live, so signing her was just a formality. Elisa Wiggins is really the one that we hadn't seen. She came late into the game, and we really thought to have depth at the point guard spot was a huge piece for us. I think we turned the ball over, and you've got to really have that leader at that spot. Michaela played some point for us, so I thought, that was a huge need. And someone to be able to play right away. And when we saw that, we watched her on film. We went back to her high school days. So that's how we really investigated her. There was a lot of conversations around what kind of kid she was, what kind of leader she was, what's her potential. Those kinds of conversations happened to get Elisa. And then Jaden, we watched a lot of her film from Metro on this computer software called Synergy. And you can watch game film. That's how we scout opponents. So we were able to see her on film that way.
It's a little bit different scouting and watching from in the stands versus having to watch film and hoping that you get the right angle to see the way a player acts and reacts on the floor, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what we're doing for the class of 22, 23. I think Shara probably knows. She's probably having to watch some film too. But yeah, just trying to pick, speed and tempo from film is difficult. So fortunate for us in the future classes, I think we're going to get to see them live because we've done a good job. And we don't have huge needs for the future recruiting wise. We did sign a kid out of Portland. I don't think I can release her name. A forward out of Portland for the 21 class to replace Lex because she'll be our only senior. So we do have a young core to build on it, which is exciting. And then with Reka and Elisa, we add to that junior class, which is Michaela's class. So we're kind of starting to balance out our classes here as we continue to build.
So we may not have as many games as we did last year where we saw 4 freshmen on the floor.
Probably not quite as many games, but you know, we'll see.
Hey, whatever works, right, Coach?
Yeah. It's all about, you know, how do we be our best?
That's right. Any other questions from anybody out there? This is your opportunity to raise your hand, ask questions. I see DeShera's got her hand up, and we'll get her unmuted. She can ask her question.
Yeah, it's just a simple one. Michaela, I wanted to know who's your favorite opponent team to go against? And when I say like favorite, I mean like the one you just have to knock on their butt, like the one you just want to rip them apart.
I feel like lately, and it's because of our strength and conditioning coach, but Weber's definitely up there right now. It's a don't lose to Weber mentality for sure. But
Really?
who is it for you?
Wow. I would not have guessed that.
What'd you say?
Montana. Montana University. Oh yeah, those were our nemesis back then.
I think our strength and conditioning coach hates Weber, so that's where our probably all
Really?
are.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Cool.
Good question, DeShera. Any other questions out there? This is your chance. I see a question from Liv there. We unmute her. Go ahead.
What advice would you give a young player like me to get better during COVID?
All right, Michaela, you and I are up, okay? Okay. So I would say the first thing is your consistency. Be as consistent as you can. So instead of going 2 weeks and then taking 2 weeks off, that's not a good idea. But the things that you can do, like ball handling, shooting in close if you have an outdoor gym, ball handling is a really, really big piece to being a great basketball player. You can't teach speed and height and all of that, but you can teach skill. So I'd say ball handling, footwork, and lots of shooting. Lots and lots and lots of shooting.
To kind of piggyback off Coach Jenny, I would agree with consistency. And I would also kind of add to keep like building your love for the game and your passion. And this time you can watch lots of old clips, old film, old games, and just kind of play with your siblings, play with your parents, and just kind of build that love for the game and that community. And it'll carry you a long ways as you go.
All right, Coach Huth, can you, before we close out, can you kind of just let the fans and everybody know how they can stay engaged and stay prepared to get their pom-poms ready to go and get back into the arena and watch these ladies play basketball?
Yeah, I think Christina's going to show it in a minute, but you can see our schedule, and it may be fluid. There's been, some talk that, we may start later and stuff like that, but some of the best ways is we're going to always post on our social medias on Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays to get to know our team better. You're going to hear from them. That's a great way. I think mostly it's just, the WNBA is about to start. So I think if you need to curb your basketball, desires, that's a good thing to watch. And then other than that, I would say just continuing to follow us on social media and engage when you can. If you can come to an alumni event or a game or any of that, we'd love you to spread the word and share our sentiments as well. So here's a look at our schedule for next year. We're going to open on the road, a little test at Arizona State, and come back home for some games. We were able to schedule more non-D1s because I don't know if some of you know that instead of 20 games in the conference, we dropped down to 16. So I look to fill some more of those games to fill out a full roster or a full schedule. So we're at 27 games right now. Normally we can get to 29. So we're a little under the norm, but we're trying to get kids love to play games. So I wanted to make sure we tried to get as many games in as possible. We'll be at Nebraska, some home games to take note of. Abilene Christian is really good. They're an NCAA tournament team, and we'll return there next year. Pepperdine as well. Obviously, Denver is a rival. Wyoming, we kind of split with them over the last 2 years, so that's starting to become a nice rivalry as well. So look at our non-conference and our conference schedule. So we'll be hopefully getting this put up here pretty soon. We're not sure when the final release will be, but this is what our idea of everything is.
What game jumps out to you on that schedule, Coach, as the pointer for what you want to see out of your season?
I like the mid-December games. It gives you a real sense of who you are and what your identity is going into conference play. So that stretch in December is going to be really helpful. Like I said, Abilene Christian kind of sticks out. They're always a tournament level team, and they win their conference. They play good basketball. I think they're going to get us really ready for league play.
Savvy, will you have nightmares about that at Air Force game? Since the last time you went there, it wasn't that great of a outcome for you personally. I know that was a tough one for you.
She got
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that.
We got a flying elbow. I think we did get a free throw for it eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually. Any other questions for anybody out there before we let everybody go? All right, well, I don't see any. Well, thanks, Coach Huth and Michaela, and to the alumni that joined and our fans for coming on. I think the plan and goal is to hopefully do more of these and get the players and the coaches in front of the fans. So this is exciting. If not, we'll look forward to seeing hopefully everybody inside of the Bank of Colorado Arena there in Butler Hancock in November as we get ready for some basketball. But until then, make sure you follow the UNC Bears women's basketball team on Twitter. They always have fun and exciting things out there. And make sure you follow them on social media. It's a lot of fun. And for the young fans out there, Liv, I know I've seen you doing the workout Wednesdays. You keep doing them and keep posting those videos. That's how you get better. Great job. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. And I'll always wrap it up like I always do. Go Bears.
Thank you, everybody.